Well, as you may know, tonight's ZDS area final match between Nottingham Forest and Leicester City was called off last week, so we've rearranged our schedules. A real feast for Italian fans coming up. At 10 o'clock tonight, our usual Monday evening magazine show with John Inverdale, 2 top games, all the Serie A goals, the new top 20 and our predictions competition. But for the next couple of hours, a chance to see again the most talked about Italian game for years. On the 5th of January, Milan beat Napoli 5-0. Marco van Basten called it as near to footballing perfection as you could get. 5 First Division managers rang us up asking for a cassette, and we've had numerous requests to show the match again. So sit back, the whole match coming up. Commentators, the former Milan star Ray Wilkins and Peter Brackley.
A pulsating atmosphere abounds in this famous stadium as Napoli kick off, attacking the goal to our left. And this latest confrontation between two clubs who've become such fierce rivals down the years. As Milan force a corner right from the off. Milan, of course, champions back in '88, Napoli league winners in '87, and again in '90, and something has to give today with these two teams in such splendid form. And what a start then. Maldini has headed Milan in front inside the first minute. A sensational start. It seemed to be almost a free header then for Maldini, with the Napoli defenders totally losing their concentration.
A fantastic ball in from Ivani here, and Maldini hits it in full flight. There's no stopping that. That's a wonderful goal and a marvellous start.
The goal timed at 26 seconds.
And the atmosphere is absolutely deafening here. Naples have always got a tremendous following when they come to Milan, whether it be against AC or Inter, and it's no different today.
Oh, what a setback there then for Napoli. 2 defenders there on Rijkaard, and Maldini was able to nip in behind them, and it was virtually, Ray, a free header.
It was a free header, yes, but Maldini stole in there very well. Once he got in there, he made no mistake. It was a wonderful downward header, giving Gali no chance whatsoever.
Well, Maldini at, well, I think the most experienced 23-year-old in the world. He's made such a name for himself in recent seasons, mainly as a defender, of course, but he showed there his attacking qualities, and it really was a classic header to put his team in front. I was saying that something had to give today, and it's given pretty early on. Just 26 seconds into this game, and it's AC Milan, the league leaders, 1, Napoli in 3rd place, 0. Milan's colours have yet to be lowered, of course, in the league this season. 9 wins and 5 draws, and Napoli's only defeat was against the team currently separating them at the top of the table, Juventus.
It's a very important 5 minutes, 5 or 10 minutes now for Naples, because it appears that Milan they're rampant today, and they've started exceptionally well, and Massara only just caught offside then. If they can stem the tide for 10 minutes, it'll do them a world of good, but AC Milan looking magnificent form.
Well, we were wondering beforehand how much Milan are going to miss Ruud Gullit, who's been in such splendid form for them. Gullit out through a very heavy cold today. Well, the answer so far is they're not missing him at all, thanks to that stunning finish by Paolo Maldini. Buscedo's pass, this is Padovano, and he's just offside. A real shootout today between the 2 main strikers, we were thinking, in terms of Correca of Napoli and Van Basten of Milan, both on 9 goals. But so far it's Maldini who's still on the show. Here's Rijkaard now, back after injury in the Milan side. Now Baresi, who won his 58th cap for Italy in their recent international against Cyprus. And now, of course, the captain of the Italian side, as well as Milan. It's a measure of their strength and depth, Milan, that they can lose a player of Ruud Gullit's class and pedigree and still bring in one as good as Donadoni, who's come into the side. Donadoni himself, of course, an established international. Here he is now in possession, wearing that coveted number 10 shirt. Good ball towards Marco van Basten.
I just hope that both teams can keep this up, because it started at a tremendous pace, and they have just come back from their mid-season break, and it's always very interesting to see how teams can can cope with having that break. Milan were flying before it, and it was very interesting to see how they'd come out today, and they've come out in great fashion.
Well, they certainly look extremely fresh, full of zest, full of running. And it's a real test early on here for Napoli's resources. Baresi now with Costa Curta, now establishing himself in the Italian national team. He's played the last 2 games since Sacchi took charge. Shadu there with the interception. Shadu, who's come in for Corradini. Now Baresi, so much depth from his play from the back. It's Padovano. 5 minutes gone. And Milan setting the pace here, encouraged by that early strike from Maldini. Napoli unbeaten away from home. Their only setback was in front of their own supporters against Juventus. But my word, they've got a task on here today against the league leaders. Very much the favourites to take the title now. Baresi sweeping forward. Swapping passes with Van Basten. And that'll be a free kick to Milan. Referee today, Lorenzo Guizzato from Verona. Here's Donadoni. He's had to settle for the substitutes role for much of the season so far. Getting his chance in the side today. And a chance to remind us just what a quality player he can be. This is Bonk, the Frenchman. He's having a good season, his first in Napoli's colours. Now off goes Careca, policed by Maldini. And Careca's got away from him here. Given back to Careca. That's sloppy defending by Maldini, of all people. In fact, the flag was up for offside.
Yeah, he was only just offside, but it was a bit sloppy from Paolo Maldini. He should have got rid of that. But Careca did exceptionally well to take him on down the right wing. Maldini's no slouch, and that was the first slight scare for AC Milan.
Careca, who was in splendid form too just before the break, with 4 goals in the last 2 league games for Napoli. And here he is now, looking for Zola, but Costa Curta was there. Clash then between Alamao, the Brazilian, and Donadoni. Interpret that as you will.
That was never a foul. I think Alamao's gone for the ball, and he's actually won the ball. That's one of the unfortunate things in Italian football. They don't allow enough physical contact.
It's a tigerish tackler, Alamao in the midfield area for Napoli. He hasn't scored so far this season, but he's been most influential in their play. That'll be a goal kick to Napoli. Galli here, who had, of course, 4 seasons with Milan. In his second term now with Napoli, and he's the most experienced goalkeeper in the Serie A. But he stood no chance with that flying header from Maldini. Careca. Here's De Napoli. Now Bushadu. Donadoni now for Milan. Albertini, young man who made his international debut in the recent game against Cyprus, along with Evani, also of Milan. Now Crippa, and he's back on the international scene too. And that was Costa Curta at full stretch. Now where's Rossi going? And the flag's up anyway.
Yes, I think he just crept out for a corner, but that was a good piece of football there from Naples. And they were slightly unfortunate not to get in, but they've got a corner now, and they've actually come back in the game the last 5 minutes.
Just beginning to settle now, Napoli, after that early setback, and what a setback it was too. I can't have imagined they'd have conceded a goal as early as that. Zola now. Here's Kripa. Zola, oh, that's tremendous skill by Zola. The man who stepped into Maradona's shoes.
Oh, that was fantastic play from Zola. He looks to really have a lot of talent, this young chap, and he got in a very good cross. In actual fact, there were 3 guys on the back post unmarked. Had the ball gone to the back post, I'd fancy one of them to have scored.
Zola has also played in the last 2 games for Italy under Arrigo Sacchi, and his first appearance against Norway, he was the one bright spot in an otherwise pretty gloomy match for the Italian side, and they could only draw with Norway. But Zola's debut was a sparkling one, and he has exceptional talent, and he has certainly helped to compensate for the loss of Maradona. Alamao scampering away. To no avail, though. Ivani finding the right card. Great flick off there. And Ray Wilkins alongside me, drooling then. What a great touch,
Oh,
Ray.
it was magnificent football. Yeah, one and two touch football is fantastic to watch, and it really excites everybody, footballers and supporters alike, should I say.
Shadu. Good tackling, though, by Donadoni, who's determined to impress today, having been restored to the lineup.
Yeah, I think it was just a foul, but he was a little bit unfortunate there.
Block. So cool and composed. And surely tripped then by Donadoni. But Laurent Blanc has made an excellent impression since his move to Naples. Slotted in well.
I think one of the most interesting things about the game is the contrasting styles of both sides. Baresi keeps the back 4 up and the team condensed in about 35-40 yards. But with Blanc playing so deep in his sweeper role, it gives Milan all that area in which to play their little intricate passes. And if they were to push up slightly more from the back, I think it would prevent Milan from playing that 1 and 2 touch.
Ferrara, captain of Napoli. And here's the captain of Milan, Franco Baresi. Fabulous atmosphere in the stadium. And the Milan fans have seen their team off to a cracking start. But here's De Napoli. Good tackle though by Rijkaard. Alamao. Zola and Careca. That was Blanc who'd come forward then. Ivani. Been played at quite a pace this game.
I would imagine the players are quite happy when the ball goes out of play to get a breather. It really has started off at a tremendous pace.
Napoli, in fact, in the middle of a 7-match unbeaten run at the moment. But that's under serious threat today from this Milan side in rampant form. Zola. Another fine touch from him. Here's Careca. Now, Kripa. Now, was Kripa held back then by Maldini? Referee and linesman in total accord. Careca having to battle for the ball, and he came out second best. Van Basten to Rijkaard, the 2 Dutchmen combining. Now, here's Donadoni. And Rijkaard has spotted Tassotti on the run outside him, but his pass went somewhat askew. But Milan showing so much fluency already. And threatening to stretch Naples at every turn.
I think I can honestly say in all the time that I've been involved with this Italian football there, I've never seen two sides so committed in the first 25 minutes or the first 20 minutes of a league game.
Massaro scrapping. Donadoni. Too long though for Evani, who's not exactly the tallest player in the Milan side. He had no real chance of reaching that one. Now block. 15 minutes into the first half. Milan leading by a goal to nil. Inside the first 30 seconds from Maldini. Rijkaard's header. Couldn't find Massaro. This is Ferrara. The goalkeeper for Milan. He's having a very consistent season so far. Now the chase is on for Padovano. Baresi has come across and he was just a little bit fortunate then. It's a corner anyway. Zola has gone across to take it. Donadoni can bring it away though for Milan. What a sloppy play by him. Very careless. And so was the pass in the direction of Zola too. A lot of tension out there. A big occasion. A very important match between two very genuine contenders for the title. Now Bushedu patrolling this left flank for Napoli. That's a foul on Padovano. Padovano, who was a consistent goal scorer for Pisa last season. He's got 3 so far for Napoli in this campaign, including 2 in the last 2. So Milan will need to keep a careful eye on him. Costacurta to Evani. Gasp from the crowd, but there was no one from Napoli behind him, so he got away with that. Van Basten with the pass. De Napoli finding Alabao. Now Zola. Now what support does Correca have here? There was no way past Maldini. Ripa to De Napoli, who wasn't in the side at the start of the season. But he's a regular now, as of course he has been during their successful campaigns in the past few years. Massaro leaving the throw for Donadoni.
Going back to Napoli, Peter, he's a very valuable member of their side. If anybody, possibly he's the workhorse of their side, along with Cripper, who's come into their side the last couple of seasons. But before that, Napoli has basically been the workhorse for everybody, but a very valuable member.
Well, it's going Milan's way so far. Van Basten here. Bundled over. And that has to be a free kick to Milan.
No, I don't think that was a foul. Van Basten leaning into him, he's just tumbled over. But this is a very dodgy position for Naples now. It's another free kick from Ivani, and all the big boys are coming up.
Just really seemed to lose his balance then rather than anything else. Van Basten, the referee's given the free kick. And here's Tassotti. Now Van Basten. Oh, what a vital challenge that was then. I think from Alamao. You can't give this fellow too much room in that penalty box.
Well, he was unlucky, actually. It was a vital touch. I think it was Franchini who got a touch on him, but he's very unfortunate. He nearly controlled that.
And it was the tackle was from Alamao, and I think he just clipped his head then, Van Basten, as he went down.
But it really has been a fantastic 20 minutes. If the rest of the game is half as good as this, I think we're in for an absolute field day. Both sides showing some exceptional ability on the ball and working so hard when they haven't got the ball. It really is turning into a classic.
And that was an invaluable contribution then from Alamao. Just nicking the ball away from the toes of Van Basten, who otherwise surely would have scored.
He's a tough old campaigner, Alamao. He's more westernised, I think, than most Brazilian players. He gets up and down the field, and he really does get stuck in as well.
He's such a sturdy and competitive player. And, of course, a player with tremendous flair too, Alamao. This match between the top two scorers so far in the Italian league. Napoli with 24, Milan 23. And indeed their last 6 league meetings have produced 18 goals, so I think you might put some money on there being another goal or two in this one. Let's hope so. Almost at the halfway point in the first half. Milan with a one decisive strike so far from Maldini on 26 seconds. Referee was in the way then. Donadoni. And Di Napoli was in the way of him. Good skill then by Di Napoli. Here's Zola. It's got Cripper making the run outside him. And the flag's up for offside. Maybe Zola delayed too long then.
Yeah, he was, Peter, definitely. Sorry for interrupting there, but he definitely held on to the ball far too long when Cripper had made an excellent run on the outside. Here we see it once again. Costa Curta just stepping up at the last minute to catch him offside.
But Zola, what a revelation he has been for Napoli. And every suggestion that he'll be just as impressive too for the Italian national side now that he's finally got his chance.
Yes, it wasn't an easy shirt to step into, that one of Maradona's, who starred for them for a number of years and was played some magnificent football in Italy. But Zola stepped into it very well, and he's having an excellent season himself.
His 3rd season with Napoli, Zola. And this is the one where he's really making his mark. Albertini, another young man with very high hot prospects ahead of him. Having forced his way into the national side too, Albertini, just 20 years old. And of course his progress means the likes of Ancelotti can't get into the Milan side. Ancelotti among the substitutes today.
And that definitely does say something about his play as well, because Ancelotti, for me, he's a super player. And I think one of the mainstays of the Milan side, because he clogs the midfield up for them, picks up everything and gets the team playing.
Now there's a problem here for Ferrara. Ciro Ferrara. After that confrontation with Albertini, who did seem to leave his leg trailing. The only Naples-born player on the club roster. One club man, Ferrara. What a great servant he has been to Napoli.
Yeah, I think Albertini definitely left his leg in on him there. That was a little bit naughty, really.
So to catch him just below the knee, and that's pretty painful. Now Blanc. This is Pechedo. Donadoni, Albertini. Ivani steering it now into the path of Maldini. That was clumsy too. And certainly Napoli are having more of a say now. Albertini, but it's Milan pressing forward here. Not for too long though.
I think the only thing the game is lacking at this moment in time is possibly a few more goal mouse incidents. The football outside, it's been absolutely tremendous. But we'd like to see the lads get in the box a little bit more and have a few more shots at goal.
25 minutes into the first half. Now Crippa for Napoli. In towards Correca. Theatrical dive from him. And the referee just simply turned away. No question in his eyes anyway of a foul there. De Napoli, that's a foul though from Rijkaard, who came sliding in with a tackle then on De Napoli. But they're good friends.
No, that's nice to see as well. It was I think just an over-enthusiastic lunge from Rijkaard there, and De Napoli's taken it in the best spirit.
That is certainly the way the game has been played so far between these two outstanding sides. Oh, and Rossi lost it for a moment, and he had to scamper back as Padovano came in. Oh, my word, a few hearts would have skipped a beat then.
That was wonderful skill from Correca as well. He goes past a number of players and just gets a half shot through the legs of Franco Baresi. I think it bubbled on that new bit of turf in the goal mouth, but there was no excuse for Rossi. That was bad handling.
Yes, you can't really blame the pitch for that one. That was simply a fumble by Rossi. Must have heard me saying how consistent he'd been. Didn't look it there. It was a real scare for the Milan defenders ahead of him. Donadoni to Baresi. Guiding it on to Rijkaard. Now Ivani. So exciting when they're in full flow, Milan. This is Rijkaard. Donadoni trying to link up with Van Basten, but failing to do so. Maybe they can try again. Donadoni. Here's Van Basten now. Rijkaard's got ahead of him. This is Rijkaard, and that's the second goal. Magnificent finish from Rijkaard. And what a combination to produce the goal.
Good heavens, what a fantastic goal. It was a marvellous ball from Donadoni, but the first touch and layoff from Van Basten was quite wonderful. Rijkaard breaking from deep. He just hit it from 18 yards, and it made it look so simple. Here's the first touch of Van Basten. Second one lays a perfect pass into his stride, and Rijkaard on the volley to the right of Garland. It gives him no chance whatsoever. Fantastic football.
Milan's cohesion there simply tore Napoli apart. And a stunning strike by Rijkaard to make it 2-0 with 27 minutes gone.
Here we can see it once again. That is a lovely pass. And Rijkaard just takes it in his stride. I would say of the three Dutchmen, Rijkaard is possibly the guy that's we speak less of. But I think he has a magnificent contribution to give to Milan and for Holland. I think he's a fantastic player.
Well, he may not score as often as the other two, Gullit and Van Basten, but he certainly scores important goals. It was his, of course, that won the European Cup back in 1990 when Milan retained the trophy. And they've really asserted themselves now in this game, at the league leaders, leading by 2-0.
That's a bad tackle from Franco Baresi on Crippa. That was an awful tackle.
Galli beaten twice. And Milan very much up top here, but Napoli trying to spring straight back.
I think he's only touched the ball 3 times, Garland. He's picked 2 of those out of the net. There haven't been a lot of goal mouse incidents, but once they've got the ball there, it's been of top quality.
That's Pechedo with the strike.
If you're good enough, you're young enough.
Football, to me, is an industry.
And there's a genuine concern of which way the game's going.
In the end, the fan has to benefit.
Get a professional opinion on the questions you, the fans, want asked. Watch the Footballers' Football Show, Sky Sports, Tuesday at 9:30.
We don't like cricket.
Call this number 24 hours a day for all the latest news, views, interviews and live match commentary. Enter Sky's World Cup cricket competition for an all-expenses-paid trip for two. Continental Airlines will fly you to Australia, where you will stay at the luxurious Park Hyatt Hotel in Sydney. To enter our competition, simply call the number now for the trip of a lifetime.
We love it. We love it.
Inspired by the taste of freshly baked Italian breads, we took the finest mozzarella cheese, added the sauce of sun-ripened tomatoes, and the choicest toppings to create a new kind of pizza called San Marco. A pizza you will never forget.
Free this week in Today, a chronicle of 40 glorious years, the Royal Family Album, a glossy 3-part souvenir to collect and treasure. With hitherto unpublished photographs, it's the Royal Family like you've never seen them. And a unique Royal Commemorative Medal. Part 1 free in Today tomorrow.
I come to bring an offer of peace.
I trusted you once.
A star.
The mother world of all humans. The trap is about to be sprung.
Savior or traitor? Find out in the next episode of Battlestar Galactica, Wednesday at 8 on Sky One.
Thursday night is fight night, and ringside is ready to rumble with blow-by-blow coverage of top fight action. Ringside Boxing, every Thursday at 8 on Sky Sports.
Milan fans in the stadium in tremendous voice now, as you'd imagine, with their team having established this, well, comfortable lead at this stage. 2 goals up, first against third. Looks a bit out of puff, the old referee. Such has been the frenetic pace of this game. And he's had to be at his most alert, the referee, to keep in touch with it all.
And I think he's ref the game very well as well. It's very difficult to referee a game of such high tension and action. And he's allowed a number of things to go, but he's ref very well.
Block. Napoli urgently need a goal now to pull themselves back into contention. Solid tackle, though, by Maldini on Zola. Maldini with the first goal for Milan, and now Van Basten, Rijkaard rather, with the second from Van Basten's pass. Half an hour gone. Kripper taking the throw. Here's Koreka. That's tremendous skill by him.
Oh, that was magnificent again by Koreka. We are so fortunate to see a lot of these world stars play, but that in such a confined space, that was wonderful ability.
It's their close control that I find so exciting, the way that they can bring a ball down and turn defenders almost in one movement.
That's right. And in actual fact, it's the first time I've seen Blanc play this year. He really does look another exceptional foreigner in Italian football.
Baresi. There aren't too many more elegant defenders than Baresi in world football. Now, Blanc had gone way upfield, and the defenders behind him for Napoli just about managed to do their job properly and catch Van Basten and company offside. Alamau. Way by Tassotti to Donadoni. Now Maldini. So much quality throughout this Milan side. Players who are so comfortable in possession throughout the lineup. And at the moment, they're proving too strong for Napoli. But now the referee, I think, is going to produce the first yellow card of the game, the first caution. For the tackle then by Albertini, and that's not his first offence.
No, that's right, and there was no need for that. That's it's a bit uncalled for.
Massaro sent on his way by Van Basten's clever flick. And that's come off Fraccini. And Gali just managing to keep the ball in play. Padovano. Here's Alamao. Threaded on for De Napoli. For Correca to chase now, and Costa Curta shepherding the ball back to Rossi. Off goes Donadoni. No respite for Napoli now. Rijkaard slips it on. Massaro is onside. Is this going to be a third now? Still Massaro. Great save by Gali. Didn't fall for Van Basten, and the whistle's gone. But Massaro was clean through then. Another incisive break by Milan.
Oh, that was wonderful football. But all calls from the running deep again of Rijkaard. He managed to split Massaro through, and that's a good save from Giovanni Gali. A very good save.
Just managing to lunge out a leg then to deflect the ball wide. But Napoli being attacked from every angle, and they're finding it so hard to contain Milan. Such is the quality of their approach play. And that was another bad tackle on Costa Curta this time.
Yeah, this was a late shot. Well, I don't know so much.
Well, maybe not.
No, unfortunately, I think he died there.
I think it looked a lot worse than it really was then. And indeed, play is going on. Evani is blocked, though. That was a pretty solid tackle, too, then, on Albertini, who I'm sure felt the full weight of that one.
Yeah, that didn't appear to be the most pleasant of challenges. That he's coming on the side on him, and he might even have gone over the top. And I think you could see about 10 yards further out, Franco Baresi wasn't too chuffed because he came out, and I think, to have a bit of a go at him. We'll see him here come flying into the action here. He was just trying to block him in any way that he possibly could. I don't think he was too pleased with that challenge on young Albertini.
Albertini, who himself has been booked for two pretty careless tackles. There's Block, just shaking hands. Showing him there was no ill intent on his part anyway. And Albertini, thankfully, is okay and able to continue.
I hope the silly stuff doesn't creep into it, because it's been an absolutely magnificent advert for Italian football, and it'd be a great shame.
Well, it's been a corking game so far. Bashenu. Zola. Napoli seeking inspiration from him now. He's the man who so often makes things happen for them. 10 minutes to half-time. Foul on Zola. Costa Curta making certain that he made no further progress then. Crippa. Now Correca. How quickly he was closed down then. Three defenders converging on him. Zola. Block. Not quite sure what he was intending there. Whatever it was, it didn't come off.
I just think he was panicked into playing it forward into an empty area. Milan are working so hard when they haven't got the ball, they make it very difficult for the opposition to play. And we saw Zola on the ball with four lads around him, putting him under pressure.
So a very different opening 35 minutes for the two coaches. They've had otherwise pretty successful campaigns. I say otherwise, of course, Fabio Capello of Milan have seen his team unbeaten. Ranieri of Napoli, his team have lost only once. maybe that record is going today. Certainly Milan the dominant side, and they've looked far more likely to score. But Napoli haven't been overrun.
No, it definitely takes two teams to make an excellent match, and Naples have had their moments as well, and they've worked very hard to try and stay in the game. It's always been difficult for them, but they're still in there. Although they're 2-0 down, they only want one, and they're right back in it.
They haven't really, though, been able to extend Sebastiano Rossi at the Milan goal. Just that one scare, really, when he lost a rather tame shot from Correca. But it didn't prove too costly. Now Rijkaard. Albertini. Will be handball. Well, Padovano pleading his innocence. There. Well, it certainly hit him, but I think he's claiming he couldn't really get out of the way.
Well, I think he lifted his hands as well. Definitely a free kick.
So, possibilities on here for Milan. Rijkaard is there, and Donadoni. There's a lot of shooting power in the Milan side from these set pieces. Touched off to Evani. And I remember him scoring from a similar range against Genoa in that match that was abandoned in the end. That goal, in fact, was wiped out. I don't know if you saw that one, Ray. It was a real cracker that he
no, I didn't see that one.
Very similar situation.
He's got a fantastic left foot, and I'm quite surprised that he doesn't score more often, in actual fact.
And when he does score, they take it away from him. Now, was that a push then by Franchini? Referee says no, waving play on. Padovano. Napoli need a little more menace now around the penalty box. Kripa. They certainly had the firepower up there with the likes of Correca and Padovano. And of course the skill of this man Zola. Now Kripa. Chance for him to cross it in. It was a weak one though. Baresi able to clear. Zola trying to wriggle through, and the ball safely back with Rossi. Now Rijkaard with Baresi. Costacata. Trying to send Van Basten away. He had the pace and the strength to hold off his marker. Donadoni. Wriggling towards the byline, and he's forced the corner with 5 minutes of the first half to go. Donadoni himself to take the corner. And that'll be comfortable for Gali. Padovano. Trying to take on the experienced Tassotti. Not too many wingers get the better of him. Very solid performer for Milan down the years, Tassotti. I think there's been some surprise among observers of the Italian game that he's never won an Italian cap, or a full cap anyway. Been such a consistent player for Milan. And that'll be a free kick for the foul on Massaro.
He was very clever there, Massaro. He saw the defender getting back at him, just ran across his path, and there was no option for Kripa but to bundle him over.
Massaro, who has certainly proved his value to Milan this season. He's become a regular in the starting lineup. Ivani taking the free kick. Header back was from Maldini. And another goal! Massaro makes it 3. And the Napoli defenders then seem almost static. 3 minutes to half-time. And Daniele Massaro makes it 3-0 to Milan.
Well, I think that's it. As the game's concerned, I can't see Naples getting back into the game. There's another super pass from Ivani. Maldini, a great header. And there's Massaro with a free header just planting in the top corner.
Well, they really lost their concentration there, Napoli, surely. And Galli, motionless on his line, nothing he could do about that.
No, he never had a chance. I think he expected Ferrara, I think it was, who was jumping before Massaro, to get that away.
Correca. Napoli need to bounce back so quickly now. 3-0 down. And if it stays that way at half-time, as Ray's saying, surely there's no way back for them. But here's Ivani now. Milan have the scent of further goals. And they really have been in dominant mood. Donadoni. Didn't keep it in play, though.
But I think that epitomises what Milan stand for. Donadoni must have come back 35, 40 yards to attempt to keep that ball in play. Ooh, and I'd be loath to say that that was out of play.
But it is a measure of how much commitment they've shown here, Milan. In fairness, so Napoli too, but they're 3-0 down. And one or two heads may well start to drop soon. They clearly have met their match today in the league leaders.
Well, it can't be easy for them to play in this sort of environment. Milan have been absolutely fantastic all over the field.
Massaro with his 4th goal of the campaign, and that's 4 now in 8 matches, so he's in a rich vein of form. Baresi's pass. And Van Basten failing to keep the ball in play. And once again, Maldini played his part in the goal with his header back across for Massaro to head in.
I think we've all been given another Christmas present. I think this has been one of the best 45 minutes that you could wish to see anywhere.
Well, it's been an outstanding display, no question, from Milan. Little spell after the first goal when you thought maybe Napoli were getting back into it. But then Fabio Capello's side have taken charge with 2 further goals. And it's a long, long way back from here for Napoli. Ferrara leaving the free kick for Pacheco. Ivani. Napoli have had their moments in the first half, but they've never looked as dangerous as Milan when they've come pouring forward. Donadoni, great skill again. Massaro ahead of him. And that'll be another corner as we move into stoppage time at the end of the first half. Ivani going over to take the corner. And Ranieri, the coach of Naples, seeing his team in all kinds of trouble now. And a further goal here surely would end any hope they had of a comeback. Salvatini. And over the bar, that's Maldini. And their aerial strength has been so prominent today, Ray.
Absolutely, and the crossing also of Ivani has been quite exceptional, whether it be free kick or from general play. We see the shot going in from Albertini, and as it comes out to Ivani, he really whips this ball in. And there's Maldini again, who really is powerful in the air. Just nutting that one over the top, but another super crossing.
Yes, it is this service from the flanks that has really kept Napoli at full stretch. Van Basten. Ivani. Van Basten trying to wriggle some space for himself, and was adjudged to have fouled in the process. So now deep into injury time. Mauro Giovanni Galli. He's had a pretty torrid time so far. Referee Quasato looks at his watch and blows the whistle to end this exhilarating first half in the Giuseppe Meazza Stadium. 3-0 Milan lead, and really good value for that lead. 26 seconds rather on the clock with the first goal from Maldini, then 2 more from Rijkaard and Massaro, and that has really put Milan in the driving seat here. Milan, the league leaders, against Napoli in 3rd place. At half-time, it's Milan 3, Napoli 0.
In association with Carlsberg, we bring you exclusively live the 4th round replay between Wrexham and West Ham, Tuesday at 7 on Sky Sports.
We don't like cricket.
Call this number 24 hours a day for all the latest news, views, interviews and live match commentary. Enter Sky's World Cup cricket competition for an all-expenses-paid trip for 2. Continental Airlines will fly you to Australia, where you will stay at the luxurious Park Hyatt Hotel in Sydney. To enter our competition, simply call the number now for the trip of a lifetime.
We love it. We love it.
Every day I use a gentle moisturizer. It's absorbed into my skin to protect it throughout the day. It will help keep my skin looking young as I get older. I'm Yasmin Rabon, and the moisturizer is Pure and Simple. Pure and Simple protects your skin today for tomorrow.
Wouldn't you like a spring holiday? There's over 500,000 fun-packed 5-day breaks for only £8.50 with The Sun. Over 50 top UK locations. Have a fantastic spring holiday with The Sun for only £8.50. Once he was on the wrong side of the law. Now he's chief of CID. The Bill's Chris Ellison reveals all in The Sun. Plus the world's champion memory man.
You can test my memory and help improve your own.
And over 500,000 spring holidays for only £8.50. It's all in this week's Sun.
Okay, boys, let's go.
Dick Tracy, the British television premiere. Just one of over 300 different films you can see on Sky Movies Plus and the Movie Channel in February. To subscribe now, call this number, 0506 460 460.
Friday at 8 on Sky Sports, the German football season continues with all the action from the night's most exciting game. The training ground for the most efficient players in the world is the Bundesliga. Friday at 8 on Sky Sports.
Not a bad way, I'm sure you'd agree, to start the new year. What did you make of Milan?
I think they're a remarkable team, and they're obviously going to run away with the championship. I think Juventus are in a false position, as I've said before on these programmes, and it's extraordinary they can do so well without Hullet, who has been playing superbly, as you showed earlier on. But Donadoni, of course, would be a great luxury for any club to keep on the bench or in reserve, and now he's on the field and showing what he can do.
Napoli weren't playing badly, mind you, weren't they?
No, they were a bit sleepy in defence. Possibly had more of the play, but I think that's irrelevant in modern football.
Now, 26 seconds was a fairly good springboard to 1992 for Milan, wasn't it, to get a goal that quickly? How much blame would you apportion to the Napoli defence?
I think they were very sleepy. I mean, whoever was initially with Maldini should have picked him up.
Good header, though, coming in with a
splendid header. But I mean, if you're going to stand aside and allow as versatile an international player as Maldini to come in and get a free header, that's what he's going to do with it.
We focused on Van Basten earlier in this programme, and you mentioned Hullet. Are you a Rijkaard fan as well?
Oh, yes, all of them. I think they're all magnificent players. What is really interesting about Milan is how well they're doing under Fabio Capello. A lot of people were extremely sceptical when Fabio became the new manager. They said he hadn't had the experience just a few months, several years ago on the bench, that he'd been running various sports franchises, I believe even basketball, for Berlusconi, the owner of Milan, and that he'd never be another Sacchi. In fact, I think Berlusconi was right. It was just the moment to get rid of Sacchi, and Van Basten has blossomed as a result. As you know, they were at daggers drawn. Van Basten was absolutely sick of being left alone upfield, a sort of solitary soldier, and taking all the punishment. And now, of course, they have somewhat, they still press up, as Ray Wilkins said, but they've somewhat modified the attacking pattern, and Van Basten is thriving on it.
Well, this wonderful example I think we've got now of Rijkaard, just a glorious flick in the middle of the field. Comes to him there, and how about that?
It was quite superb. I mean, these are players of the highest possible quality.
And the goal, of course, was the icing on the cake as far as Rijkaard was concerned. Almost a Hullet-like goal, the way he ran onto the ball, and a great flick from Van Basten, obviously.
Yes, Rijkaard is an enormously versatile player. He used to chafe, didn't he, when either the Dutch team or even Milan played him at centre-back. He likes to get into the action as much as he possibly can, but he is enormously versatile. Again, you have to remember that it was the Dutch and the Germans who invented and for a time almost perfected total football, and he is the total footballer par excellence, isn't he?
Whatever happened to total football?
Oh, that's the saddest thing, isn't it? It's been to a certain extent integrated into the game, but that was the most exciting period of football I've ever watched in my life. The early 70s, wonderful.
Well, 2-0, you're just about still in with a shout, but 3-0, you virtually said goodbye to it, haven't you? What did you make of the third goal that Milan scored?
Again, I think the defence was somewhat at fault. Ferrara jumped too early, didn't he? But the header by Massaro was splendidly taken. It was beautifully put across to him, too. Here comes Massaro, Daniel Massaro. That was a great bone of contention, of course, wasn't it, between Sacchi and Berlusconi, because he was lent to Roma by Sacchi, and Berlusconi was very fed up about that, and Sacchi nearly lost his job as a consequence. And then the following season, Massaro came back again. He's done very well for them.
Now, do you recall this man on this programme a few weeks ago? Pasquale Bruno. You remember he got an 8-match ban for his... He's the man on the right, incidentally. He got an 8-match ban for that extraordinary exhibition after being sent off. So how's he been filling his time recently?
Well, very happily indeed. It was reduced to 5, and I think possibly he now wishes it was 8, because he says he's been getting all sorts of sympathetic messages from all over Italy. Several large clubs have offered him a contract for next season, and he's getting a number of modelling engagements. Precisely what context, I don't know.
And he'll be in Jack and the Beanstalk next Christmas.
I'm sure.
And he's also been singing the praises of English football.
Yes, one of the things he's been doing with his time off is providing commentary on English matches screened on the television in Italy, and one of them recently was the match between Liverpool and Manchester City, and he was absolutely bouleversé by it. He loved it. He said, it's wonderful football, it's marvellous to see players go in, and he should know at the very limit of the rules and sometimes beyond it, and then after they clash, just get up and go on as though nothing had happened. We really need players like that over here, and particularly players like Niall Quinn, who was magnificent in attack and went back time and again to help out the defence, and Houghton, and Steve McMahon. Those were the 3 he singled out. He's a great aficionado now of English football.
Well, there we are. Niall Quinn, there's a career for you at Torino. Meanwhile, we're going back to Milan for the second half next.
Welcome back to the Giuseppe Meazza Stadium then, as Milan start the second half. An explosive atmosphere in the stadium, and a really exciting game too so far, albeit a bit of a one-way contest now in terms of that 3-goal lead that Milan have. I don't think there'll be any change in their attitude. I don't think they'll let up in any way. And of course, Napoli will be hoping to give themselves a fighting chance with an early goal or two. But straight away, Milan on the attack, and they force the corner, which Donadoni will take. And remember, just 26 seconds of the first half had gone when they scored, but no repeat this time. The race is class. Maybe I've spoken too soon. Ivani, Rijkaard, off goes Ivani, but his run was covered then by Blanc. But what do you feel, Ray, knowing the situation pretty well out there? What do you feel the attitude of Milan will be now?
Well, I think obviously knowing Capello quite well, he won't want them to let up. Berlusconi certainly won't, the president, and the supporters won't want to either. But I would imagine the way that the lads performed in the first half, they'll want to go out there and enjoy the second half exactly the same. So I'd imagine they would want to play as well.
Prepare. And what about Napoli? What will their coach have been saying? I mean, there can't be any way back from this, surely.
No, that's right. I'd be very surprised if they ever got back from this situation. But the moments they did have in the first half, they managed to get players free on the flanks and get good ball in. They've got to attempt to get down the outside, because through the middle they basically look blocked up.
Off goes Padovano. Costa Curta though, denying him a route to goal. And he's been very effective today, Costa Curta, alongside Baresi at the back for Milan. So strong defensively. They're so strong though in every department, of course, Milan.
I think you can see the most important thing as far as football is concerned is confidence, and every player appears to have that confidence at the moment.
Vanni. Now then for Baresi, who blotted his copybook, of course, with that sending off in the recent Milan derby with Inter. A rare blemish in his outstanding career. Alabao. Milan unbeaten in the league, as we've been saying so often. They've been such a dominant force in the Italian league. And it's hard to see really just how they're going to lose a match if they can keep up this kind of form. Van Basten. This is Evani. Outsmarted though by Cripper, and no foul given.
That's good refereeing as well.
Yeah.
Evani just went over for the free kick, and that's super refereeing. He's had a very good game, the ref.
Well, he certainly kept a firm grip on things. Once or twice matters have threatened to get out of hand. He's been quick to snap down on any problem areas. Free kick there against Tassotti. Alabao to Cripper. There's Ferrara tangling with Massaro. And the linesman says the offender is Massaro. Beaming smile from him. Shake of the head. I reckon the referee was right, certainly the linesman.
Definitely.
Cripper. Now, what was all that about? Well, there doesn't seem to be too much contact where I'm sitting. Zola, Alabao. Cripper went down as if he was poleaxed then. Padovano trying to thread a path to goal, and the free kick's been given.
Yeah, Mr. Cripper, I think, is famed for his play acting, but Naples there trying to go through again through the middle of the defence. I don't think they've got a lot of chance here. Definite obstruction there by Tassotti. But I think they'll have more joy if they end up going around or attempting to go around the outside of Milan.
Now, there's a genuine opportunity for them here as Rossi organises the racks ahead of him. Just 5 minutes into the second half. And a goal for Napoli here might just put a fresh complexion on the game, and it's Pescedo who curls it over the bar. They've actually had 2-3 all draws in their last 3 league games, Napoli. But they weren't playing Milan that day, either day.
I can't see him scoring 3 goals today. I can see Milan capitalising on their 3-goal lead, but Naples will have to up their performance drastically to get back into this game.
It's a real chance for Milan to turn on the style here in the second half, and certainly their fans will be expecting them to do exactly that. And so will the coach Capello. The man who's done so well in replacing Arrigo Sacchi, now the national team manager. To Napoli, is it? Well, Correca thinks it is. The decision that was given the other way. Throw taken by Maldini. Evani. Alabao in quickly though ahead of Rijkaard. Now, Crippa. Blocked by Evani. Real workhorse in the Napoli side, Crippa. And quite clearly checked that by Evani. Block. If ever a team needed a goal, it's Napoli. And they don't get one playing like that. Alamao. Trying to bring some semblance of order to the situation. Zola's a little flick off. It goes to Napoli. Now Crippa with block. Correca at Zola, endeavouring to swap passes. And that'll be a free kick to Napoli.
That was super play from Correca. I don't think it was him that was offside. It was I couldn't actually see the fella on the line, but it was wonderful one-touch play from Correca.
So I thought the referee given the free kick then for the tackle, but in fact it was an offside flag. So away come Milan once more. Baresi imperiously into the path of Evani. Now Maldini away down the left. Splendid pass that found him. And he almost found Van Basten. Evani. Now Donadoni. Napoli at times have been mesmerised by the one-touch play of Milan. Their instinctive passing. And there could be something on for them here. Albertini, the tackle low by Pescedo. And Rijkaard's shot was going nowhere, but then Massaro almost slipped in.
Well, you wouldn't think they were 3-0 up the way they're harassing Napoli all the time. Their work rate has been quite phenomenal. They're not allowing them a second to breathe on the ball.
Donadoni. Teasing cross in. Almost was met by Evani. Here's Rijkaard now. Costa Curta. Sotti making the run. Costa Curta very nearly finding him then. It was Padovano who got back to help out. Now Alamao for Napoli. Correca losing out to Rijkaard. Evani. Rijkaard's pass, all handled by Alamao, and he is going to be in serious trouble. Well, he, without any question then, held his arms aloft to catch the ball. A yellow card. And Evani to take the free kick. Donadoni, faced by Pescedo. And he's got away from him. In towards Massaro, block heading it clear. Then De Napoli with Alamao. Van Basten. Albertini, Massaro. And again, such impressive play then by Milan.
It's more than impressive, I think, Peter. This is breathtaking football, what they're playing at the moment. They're putting Napoli under so much pressure, they just can't get out of their own box. And their passing and movement off the ball has been quite phenomenal.
And here's Zola now. Didn't get too far. Block. De Napoli. Alamao. Here's Pescedo. For Correca, but Maldini just stretched out a leg then. Correca goes on. And Rossi's lost it. Well, he's saying the ball was kicked out of his hands, but the referee waving play on. And that was a bit of a let-off then for Milan. See what Ray Wilkins thinks about it in a moment.
Yeah, that was a definite let-off.
Yeah.
Again, Rossi fumbling the ball and allowing Correca to get hold of it. I think he was complaining the fact that Correca kicked it out of his hands.
Well, I didn't think he did, but, well, maybe.
Yeah, he may have had a case, but he should have got hold of that and pulled it into his chest. He's a big lad, and he shouldn't have let Correca take it off him.
I think he'd lost it the second time. Maybe the first challenge, though, he took it away from him then.
Yeah, that's right. But that was a golden opportunity for Napoli to at least get back into the game. 3-1, they would still have had the slightest opportunity.
Rijkaard, scorer of the second Milan goal. Albertini on for Donadoni. Now Rijkaard. They're sweeping forward again here, Milan. It's exhilarating to watch. Looking for Massaro. Now Ivani. Van Basten. Well, if that had come off, that could have produced a sensational goal. Albertini. Milan are their most endearing here today. Crippa. And Napoli, certainly at this stage, playing very much second fiddle.
It's interesting to note, Di Napoli's gone and put on a pair of gloves. I would have thought he'd have been warmed at the sight of seeing Milan play. Quite astonishing, really.
Rijkaard. Yes, looking around, I can't see anybody else with gloves on. Well, it's not that cold. Costacurta. Milan still hungry for further goals. Seeking to humiliate Napoli even more. So 3 goals wasn't enough. Here's to Napoli now. Cut out by Baresi. And Correca had got through and I think was offside. I believe the flag is up. As Zola trying to send him on his way.
I think the problem that Napoli face at the moment, they don't know whether to sit back and try and gobble up Milan when they get into the last third. But I would prefer to see them push up and prevent Milan start playing their game. Now, they're now allowing them to just pass the ball around at the back, putting no one under any pressure whatsoever, and it becomes very, very easy for Milan to play.
Baresi. There's Rijkaard. Now Donadoni. Tassotti had made a telling run away on the right there. Here's Albertini. Van Basten. He's onside. They back for Ivani. Well, Massaro there, pointing where he would like the ball to have been played by Van Basten. That's an opportunity wasted.
Absolutely livid, Massaro. But Van Basten, he saw Ivani very early and picked him out. But perhaps the earlier pass would have been on from Massaro.
And maybe you'd wonder there too if Van Basten's more obvious option was not to have a crack himself.
Yes, that's right. He was on a bit of an acute angle, but we've seen him score goals like that in the past.
Well, he's such a quality finisher, Van Basten. He's playing with a lot of confidence. I think he'd have normally fancied him to have a strike himself there, but made it back instead to Ivani, and the opportunity was squandered. Panovano. Napoli live to fight another day, but still with this 3-goal deficit. Baresi. Down went Massaro. Claiming a foul. The referee not even remotely interested. Di Napoli. Alabao. Very nearly caught in possession then too by Van Basten.
Well, I think that's the aspect of the game where Milan lead the rest of the Italian league standard at this moment in time, is the way they work so hard to get the ball back once they've lost it. You see Alabao there, a player of immense class. They didn't give him a second. They swarmed all over him.
They simply haven't allowed Napoli to play. They've hustled them out of their stride. And there again, such a firm challenge by Costacurta. Maldini now. And Milan determined to turn the screw in the second half. certainly not settling for the 3 goals. And there's every prospect of them adding to their lead. As they might well do here. Van Basten. Massaro's pulled into the middle. Still Van Basten. This time he does go it alone and brings the best out of Giovanni Galli.
Great football, marvellous pass from Costa Quarta deep in his own half. And Van Basten cutting in and making Galli pull off a super save.
Donadoni to Evani, shooting chance here. Was quickly closed down though by Francini. Still the pace is relentless. Di Napoli. Zola. It's well read though by Tassotti, then gave it away, and now he's handled the ball too. And that'll be a yellow card for him.
And that's a crazy booking, because I would imagine that Tassotti would have a few bookings to his name this year. Most Italian defenders do have a couple of bookings, and that could get him a suspension, and that's totally unnecessary.
Well, it really did seem very foolish indeed, and he was some way upfield too. Maldini. I think he's allowed it to be a throw. I thought he was going to give a free kick for a moment there, just telling Van Basten to calm down. In fairness, Van Basten didn't overreact. There was a bit of a lunging tackle on him. Donadoni steering it wide to Tassotti. Donadoni has been full of running in Milan's cause today, and he was whacked then by Alamau. Albertini. Napoli clearly upset at having to settle the second best today. And they've been outmanoeuvred once again.
It's been a marvellous game. There's been marvellous performances, but I think Rijkaard this afternoon has been absolutely brilliant. He's been everywhere. He's won every loose ball in the middle of the field, and he's also prompted the attack as well. Had a super game.
And you have to remind yourselves, Ray, that Rudolin isn't in the side today.
Well, it's frightening, isn't it? I mean, when you think Donadoni's come in and had a great game himself. I can honestly say this must be the main reason why these players perform to such a high standard, is the fact they can't drop below that standard. They wouldn't get a game.
Alamau for Napoli. Still hoping. But they haven't created too many problems for Milan in the second half, so far anyway. Not so at the other end. This is Donadoni. He's got Massaro in the middle, and Evani. Still Donadoni! Oh, what a goal! Fantastic shot from Donadoni. And you'll not see a cleaner strike than that anywhere in world football.
My word, that is another fantastic goal. Fantastic goal. Donadoni cutting inside, prepared to take on 2 defenders. He's got tremendous pace off the mark. It's a terrific shot into the far corner, giving Galli no chance at all. That's a great goal.
Well, we were just saying how anxious he was to impress today, having been brought back into the side, and that's some way to do it. It's a fabulous strike. Look at that.
Oh, that really is a wonderful goal. Nothing more than... They deserve no more than that. That's been an absolutely brilliant performance. And let's just hope they can keep it up as well.
Oh, it's football really of the very, very highest quality. Kind of football they were playing back in the late 80s, of course, when they dominated the European scene. And they're pressing once more now with Van Basten. European champions 2 years in a row. But out of Europe this year after their misdemeanors against Marseille. There's Van Basten in towards Massaro. And they've had only the league to concentrate on, or at least the domestic scene to concentrate on, and maybe that's played its part too, Ray.
I think definitely that's played its part. But I would imagine had they still been in Europe, they would have performed as they are performing today. They are a terrific bunch of professionals.
Donadoni, scorer of that fourth goal. 65 minutes, the time of the goal. Milan 4, Napoli 0. And this really is an outstanding performance by Milan, the league leaders. And on this showing, there's a huge chasm between first and third anyway. Juventus, remember, in second place at start of play. Albertini. Here's Block. And he's taken the opportunity to continue his run forward, Block. Can they find him? Zola. Here's Block now. Linking well with Zola. Just jinking away from one tackle, but not the second. And there, well, I wouldn't argue with Ray Wilkins in his assessment that Frank Rijkaard has been the man of the match so far. Mind you, there are a few contenders, Ray.
Blimey, there are. I don't think we've seen so many contenders for a long, long time. I think Napoli, they keep playing in front of Milan, and they're giving them the chance to close them down. They've got to attempt to at least get round the back of them and turn Milan round if they're going to have any chance whatsoever of getting a goal.
Rijkaard with Baresi. Now Van Basten. One back for Milan by Baresi. Van Basten. Great run too by Massaro. Gali was perfectly placed, but that could have been number 5. Donadoni. Block able to intercept. Now Pachedu. Padovano. Gripper. Well, they're just making no genuine progress whenever they break into the Milan half. An untidy tangle there. Gripper and Massaro all getting rather heated. Now Maldini and Padovano have got involved. Pereira, the captain, just sorting it out. That's one way to do it.
I think that's the best way to do it as well.
Scrap the two heads then.
I think this has been going on, I think, for about 20 minutes, this one, Peter. And Massaro definitely had a very silly swipe at Cripper there. But they've been having a little dig at each other for about the last 20 minutes. And there's Padovano getting himself involved.
Well, I'm sure Napoli aren't enjoying this today now one little bit. They've been outplayed, outsmarted, and they've met a Milan team in totally dominant mood.
Watch soccer on Sky Sport. Good evening. Wonderful.
The weekend's biggest fixture, Sky Soccer Weekend, Friday at 7 on Sky Sports.
We don't like cricket.
Call this number 24 hours a day for all the latest news, views, interviews and live match commentary. Enter Sky's World Cup cricket competition for an all-expenses-paid trip for 2. Continental Airlines will fly you to Australia, where you will stay at the luxurious Park Hyatt Hotel in Sydney. To enter our competition, simply call the number now for the trip of a lifetime.
We love it! We love it!
It's always nice to have someone you can trust to turn to. That's why Ford are working together with their dealers on new programs of training, service and care to keep you on the road. Ford, it may be your car, but it's still our baby.
It was a routine investigation. Some germs were into organized crime. Somebody had to clean up this town, and that somebody was me. So I went to work, wiping out germs and deodorizing the joint. I left it smelling kind of fresh.
Oh, thanks, Lieutenant.
Just doing my job, ma'am. Domestos Fresh. Wipes out germs and freshens up.
Free this week in Today, a chronicle of 40 glorious years, the Royal Family Album, a glossy 3-part souvenir to collect and treasure. With hitherto unpublished photographs, it's the Royal Family like you've never seen them, and a unique Royal Commemorative Medal. Part 1 free in Today tomorrow.
At the start of a cold, achoo! Reach for the hot lemon with the Beecham's formula. Put a smile back on your mug with Beecham's Hot Lemon.
On Newsline, Magic Johnson fighting AIDS.
You got to carry on. You got to keep living. You got to keep working out. You got to keep doing the things that you naturally do.
Magic Johnson tells his story only on Newsline. 10:30 tonight on Sky News.
Boots and all, Steve-o.
What's that then?
It's a new programme all about rugby league.
What channel's that on then?
Sky Sports. Should be good.
Who's on it?
Well, everybody. Guests, comment, you and me.
What, like referees?
Oh, we're going to get stuck into them.
What time's it on?
Thursday at 7 on Sky Sports. Better get yourself smartened up, you know.
Better get a haircut.
I think you should.
Watch Eddie and Steve-o on Boots and All. Thursday at 7 on Sky Sports.
Who's that? It's our programme, isn't it, this?
Thought so.
Scintillating football from Milan. We're now about to make a substitution. Albertini is coming off. And they're going to bring on Ancelotti. In fact, it's Fusé. They've switched the numbers round, so Fusé has come on. Ancelotti, I had down as 14, but it's Fusé. So Diego Fusé getting his chance. Striker who's been used as a substitute in all 6 of his league outings so far this term. On from Alamau, and the flag's up for offside, and it really isn't Napoli's day. They're looking pretty disheartened now, as you'd imagine.
What a lovely time for Fusé to come on and get involved in a game as well when the team's playing so well. I feel a bit sorry for Albertini, and the team has functioned so well. I can only imagine that he possibly got a slight knock. But it's a nice position for Fusé to come on and hopefully enjoy the game.
He's also had a yellow card, Albertini, so maybe they've got an eye on that too. Their temper's become a little frayed as Napoli's frustration boils over. Of course, the game surely is won. Donadoni. Ivani. Away by Block, not too far though, and helped on by De Napoli and Zola. And then a foul by Maldini. On goes Correca, who's had few opportunities to shine, especially in the second half, with Milan so much on top.
I think a lot of the problem is they haven't been able to get the ball forward to him. They've been put under so much pressure they couldn't get clean balls through to him. Been a very frustrating afternoon for Correca.
Now Zola and Padovano hoping to test Rossi in the Milan goal. Zola's touched it off to Padovano, took a deflection. That could have gone anywhere. So it'll be a corner then to Napoli. Zola to take it. corner count so far. Zola. Teasing ball in, but no real chance for Correca or Padovano. The other two players up in support.
He made space for himself, lovely there, Zola, taking on 2 or 3 Milan defenders and just whipped in a ball, and I'm sure he'd like to have pulled it slightly more away from Rossi, but it was still an excellent attempt.
Well, I don't think there's too much doubt as to where the 2 points are heading today. Last season, Milan took 3 points out of 4 off Napoli, and they beat them 4-1 in the Piazza Stadium here. Well, today they're doing even better, 4-0 at this stage. Tassotti steering it all the way back to Rossi, who's had relatively little to do. And if this is the result of defeat for Napoli, as it certainly looks likely now, it'll be their first away since Diego Maradona left back in March. So they've been very consistent on their travels. Although this season they've only actually won once, the rest have all been draws. They won away to Ascoli 4-1. They've had something of a pasting today. And Milan have another target. They haven't scored 5 yet this season. They managed 4 in the 4-1 win over Roma back in November. So they'll have an eye on that 5th goal, certainly. Napoli starting this game 4 points behind Milan. That situation is going to worsen, I'm sure. Correca. Milan on top with 23 points at the start of this game. Juventus on 21, and then Napoli on 19. Now the likes of Lazio, Genoa, Inter and Parma still up there in contention too. Now here's a substitution being made by Napoli. De Agostini is going to come on for them. There's just 15 minutes to go. Alamau going off. And he looks a pretty disgruntled figure. Stefano De Agostini, his debut season in Serie A. He was in the side at the start of the campaign. In fact, keeping out De Napoli. But more recently has been back among the substitutes. Correca still prepared to battle, still prepared to fight on for his team. Padovano, he was unlucky then. As Zola made tracks through the middle. Ivani now. Here's Rijkaard. Massaro combining with Donadoni, will be inspired by his goal, I'm sure. And forcing the corner off De Agostini. Donadoni is not featuring in the current Italian side. Ivani, and a flick on, and a goal! Van Basten. No. That's not going to count.
As the ball comes in, Garli's not too happy at coming for that Axel, and as it's played back in, I think he's only fractionally offside. Very nonchalant the way he turned it in.
Can't see her from the picture there, but I think the flag must have been up for a few seconds. So Van Basten denied a goal. 4 goals from Milan, and not one as yet from Van Basten. The joint leading goal scorer in the Italian league with Correca, both on 9. Baresi. Here's Van Basten now. Jose. Rijkaard. Van Basten, look how well he'd taken up his position then. Always available, Van Basten. That almost went out for a throw then from Baresi.
Well, it's not often you see Baresi smile either. That was magnificent football. I think this is the best I've seen Van Basten play for a long, long time. He really does seem to be enjoying himself out there. It was a lovely pass to Baresi, who really does strike a ball very well, but even he managed to smile, which it's not too easy to get one out of Franco.
I think he knows he might have done better there. When you're 4 up, it's not quite so vital. But Van Basten, without question, Ray, he's got his appetite back again now. There was a spell when he seemed to have lost it. I'll just come back to you in a moment on that point. But here's Ferrara now. Rijkaard tackling back at him. And off goes Rijkaard now in a more advanced role. Finding Ivani. He's got Massaro up in support. And Block is just able to stab it back to his goalkeeper.
Yes, I couldn't agree more with you, Peter, on that Van Basten issue. He really does appear to have his appetite back, and he did go a bit dead early on in the season, but now he's performing to the normal standards that we're used to.
Of course, Holland through to the European Championship finals, the holders, and I'm sure he'll be determined to make his mark there, having had a disappointing World Cup for Holland. A superb little flick off end from Van Basten, whose confidence is quite clearly sky high.
Marvellous entertainment, marvellous.
Rijkaard now. Donadoni pointing for where he wants the ball. Is this going to be another one? No. Denied by the goalkeeping. The agility there of Gali, who simply came to Napoli's rescue. And again, another flowing move from Milan, and this Rijkaard. And they're quite prepared to shoot from any angle.
Excellent goalkeeping from Gali. He reads the feint of Donadoni and goes down and clutches it very well.
They've no answer to this man, Van Basten. Some exquisite little flicks and touches. He's full of running, of course, Van Basten. So often taking up outstanding positions. Well, he's waiting on a cross now, maybe, with Esfusé with a shot. Beaten away by Gali. With 10 minutes to go. And there's only one team in this match now.
The football's been marvellous. That was a fantastic one, too. Esfusé making Gali pull off yet another save.
Now, a second substitution being made by Milan. Bonacci coming on. And it's Massaro who's going off. Giovanni Colacini, to give his correct name. Just a couple of league appearances this season, both as substitute. And there's the goal! That's it. Now Van Basten is on the score sheet. Emphatically finished. And it's 5 to Milan.
Well, we've seen some fantastic goals this afternoon, and that was another wonderful goal. Italian sides don't often work on their corners and free kicks, but this one was obviously been worked. The ball into the near post, used so much by us in our football. Another great ball in. And there's Maldini up to flick it on, and Van Basten never misses from there. Wonderful header, though. He got up a tremendous height and got it down, right down onto the floor. That's a terrific goal. Nothing more than he deserves. He's been absolutely brilliant.
Well, no question about that. Van Basten has fully deserved a goal. And this rampant Milan side have now scored 5. That one on 80 minutes. And are we going to see more? Van Basten's first of the game, his 10th of the season. So he's now ahead of Careca. Fusé. And the Milan crowd absolutely relishing this. Cheering their team's every move. And Napoli looking a thoroughly demoralised team. Ivani swapping passes with Donadoni. And once again on the goal, we saw that strength in the air, that power in the air of Maldini, and of course the finish from Van Basten.
Yeah, it's got to be said, Napoli have been very disappointed, but as an attacking force, they've been non-existent. But defensively, where you expect Italian teams to defend very well, they've been absolutely ripped to pieces.
Now Zola. Napoli still hoping for a consolation goal. But it won't come from that move. Jose, who's looked very lively since coming on. Giovanni to Donadoni. And this time safely through to Gali. Jose. At last, some respite for Napoli.
Yeah, sorry, Piers. A good substitution by Capello to give Cornacini the chance of playing in the big atmosphere and playing in the side that's playing to its maximum. He'll learn from the experience and he'll love it. His confidence will be sky high after this.
Here's Jose, the other substitute. Now then with Donadoni. Not a back cross in either. It's been their cohesion, their fluency, their passing that has been so impressive from Milan today. It's been an absolute joy to watch. And to be frank, Ray, Napoli have just had no answer to them.
No answer whatsoever. They look far superior in fitness as well, Milan. And I think that has been the difference in this championship. The fitness level is phenomenal. And when you think they're 5-0 up now, and the pressure they're putting on Napoli is incredible.
There's more pressure now. Jose. Shot was charged down, though, by Block. And Milan's rhythm certainly hasn't been interrupted in any way by the mid-season break. They've played some marvellous football here. And they virtually annihilated Napoli, especially in the second half. De Sotti cheekily on for Donadoni. 5 minutes to go. Van Basten with Foussé. Bashenu couldn't get it clear. Zola might now. And it's a free kick to Napoli. For the foul on Franchini. And this is the first time in a match in Serie A that any side has scored 5. And I suppose, Ray, if you were picking a two beforehand, you might have put money on Milan. But in fairness, Napoli have been scoring goals regularly too this season, but they just haven't had a look in terms of being an attacking force.
Yes, that's right. Now I think their position in the league, in 3rd place in the league, they would have been hoping that they would have got something out of this game in Milan today. But they just haven't been given a chance. They've been swamped.
First time in this campaign that a side has scored 5. Milan got 6 though against Bologna, and that was back in May in the last season. I wonder if we're going to see 6 today. There's still time. Block. Bashenu trying to run it out of defence. And they look thoroughly disorganised now. Disorientated, really, Napoli. Now. Nothing doing this time. And his block was there. And down he goes. Onto the tackle from Van Basten.
Yeah, definite foul, but Van Basten worked so hard. They prevented Blanc giving it back to his goalkeeper, made him try and play out, and had he been slightly more patient, he may even have won the ball back.
Bashenu. Well, there is still a long, long way to go, of course, and Juventus are still having a big say in the championship, but it's hard to bet against Milan on this kind of form, isn't it?
Well, I haven't seen, in all the time that I've had the pleasure of being here with the Italian football, I haven't seen a better performance from any side, and I think they've been quite stunning today. It's been a marvellous game of football.
There just simply isn't a weakness in the side. And, of course, there's a chap called Gullit still to come back in, if he can get his place back.
Yeah, that's right.
Panovano. Careca having to chase. And rather aimlessly, really, into the middle. They've lost heart now, Napoli, not surprisingly, really. Such has been the extent of Milan's domination. Panovano. Wriggling past one tackle, still going on. Zola was yards offside. The play still going on. Well, here's Donadoni. Now then for Rijkaard. Foussé to Maldini. Baresi trying to find Van Basten. But they can reflect on a truly marvellous display when they return to the dressing room, Can Milan. And it's left the crowd here absolutely enthralled by the standard of play that they've attained, the heights they've achieved. Another handball. That's a third in this game. Costa Curta, latest defender.
He's actually misread the through ball and got under it, and again he's picked up what would be a totally unnecessary booking, and these could cost dearly come the end of the season.
And in fact it is the red card this time, so Costa Curta has been sent off. Certainly would have left his opponent behind him in a goal-scoring position. Well, what a needless sending off that is.
Yes, that's right. But I suppose that's the level of commitment that they're showing. They're 5-0 up. Costa Curta could very well have let him run in to have a chance of making it 5-1. He didn't want to do that. He stopped the ball and he's been sent off.
Well, the coach Fabio Capello won't be too pleased about that. Deep in injury time. His team leading 5-0, and he's had a defender sent off.
It's a great shame that's actually marred what has been an outstanding performance.
Now touched off to Pescedo, and that just about sums up Napoli's afternoon. Nothing has gone right for them. And that one was struck more in hope than genuine belief. A rather half-hearted attempt at goal by Pescedo. We've had now a minute of time added on. And I wonder, have we seen here today then the champions of Italy? A truly stunning display by Milan. 5 goals. And Napoli, who came here in 3rd place, have been totally outplayed. The crowd here have really enjoyed this display by Milan, and why not? Because they've seen a performance of the highest quality. The final score in the Giuseppe Meazza Stadium: Milan 5, Napoli 0.
Bit special, wasn't it? Still to come tonight, Netbusters, and then at 10 o'clock, the Italian magazine. Join John Inverdale for that.